Today on the Daily Dollar, we're going down the crypto rabbit hole as I give a few reasons crypto will prevail and become something that is actually useful beyond just diamond handing to the moon. As we all know, the crypto community and the companies involved in it are not doing well in the publicity department. The collapse of many firms and projects started to cast doubt over the future of the industry. With so much doom and gloom, I thought I'd look for a light at the end of the tunnel. So I decided to find problems that blockchain technology can solve right now or could within a few years' time. If certain capabilities are still unproven or require the support of governments to pass laws allowing it, I won't be including them. I will be assuming that people watching this video are aware of the basics of blockchain technology, the Trinity dilemma, and a general awareness of the industry, as I won't be going over those here. Additionally, I'm not saying that traditional internet companies can't perform these roles, but that blockchain technology is better for the job or is just a little bit more suitable for it. The key component to blockchain technology is the fact that it's highly resistant to being altered or manipulated. That being said, blockchains are not perfect. Many have security issues, some are overly centralized, and others are dreadfully slow or expensive to use. The perfect blockchain would be secure, decentralized, and scalable, but as of now, all three have yet to be achieved, with different projects being sufficient in at least one or two of these aspects, but some are bad at all three, and those often result in a cash grab by those who set it up. So with that out of the way, let's go over the three industries that could push crypto into the mainstream today. The first on my list is pretty straightforward and has already started to draw a lot of attention. It's a few similar things that I've combined into one category: gambling, gaming, and collectibles. And while yes, some of these do require government approval, in a lot of places around the world these are pretty mainstream activities, so I don't think this will be the hardest industry for crypto to get into. Unfortunately, when it comes to gambling, gaming, and collectibles, exploitative monetization is nothing new. And as long as the gambling has addictive properties, the gaming is still somewhat fun to play, and the collectibles are rare and shiny enough to make people want them, oh trust me, they will catch a whale or two. Everybody who currently dabbles in cryptocurrency is more or less gambling as it is, so they're used to it. Axie Infinity is basically a breeding Pokemon game where you literally can make millions of dollars if you're good enough and have the rare creatures to back it up. We all know of the NFT craze that went by, and as of late crypto has been getting into sports, as they make their own monetized version of fantasy leagues, where every player has their own exclusive tradable card. And I don't mean to sound like such a skeptic when I'm saying this. I'm not personally a big gambler, but we all know billions of dollars every year are pumped into gambling, heavily monetized video games, and digital collectibles. So while myself won't be participating in most of these activities, it's easy to see how this could be crypto's first step into the mainstream. No longer will the currencies only be used for speculation, but they'll actually be used for trading and entertainment. And yes, I know NFTs kind of went mainstream already, but people purchase most of those for their speculative value, and with them being AI-generated art, I'm not exactly sure how long the legs are on those. NFT Pokemon cards, or DC heroes, or Marvel characters. You could see how those could last for multiple generations. The NFT boom we just went through might not have the stamina for a long-term run. My number 2 category for what could put blockchain and crypto into the mainstream is media ownership, social media, and a more open web in general. As of right now, social media based on blockchain technology doesn't exist. And when I state media ownership, I don't mean it as in the same way as NFTs or collectibles. This media content is tailor-made by people, not AI generated or based off a template. And the purpose is not to be collected and traded, but instead to allow the owner or creator to properly monetize and protect their work. If you have ever heard of the Audius project, this is pretty much what I'm referring to, but I think it could also work on art and video content as well. The reason this industry has so much potential is largely to do with the companies that currently manage it today. Singers, artists, and other content creators have long fought and gone against the giant companies that control these industries, whether that be the music industry going up against Sony, Universal, or Spotify, or that of content creators who often find their work being plagiarized, used, and misinterpreted for other reasons, companies, or projects. Imagine the ability to add artwork and unique content to a blockchain technology. one that doesn't need to constantly produce profits for shareholders, but one that only charges enough to keep the servers running and the validators happy. Instead of the horrible 60-40, 50-50, or 0-100 splits we have today, content creators could be making 90-95% of the money that their content makes, and the other 5-10% going to servers, hosts, and validators to keep the chain running. That leads us to social media and the broader open internet. Because not all blockchain projects have to be decentralized. Some of them can be ran and operated with a very small workforce that can be crowdfunded by donations, usually ran by nonprofits. In these kind of situations, we can build a more open, less monetized internet than the one we have right now. But that will only occur with more faith in the systems. And the reason I bring up a decentralized social media is not only because of the revenue splits most of them have with creators. Despite the creators making all of the content, they typically only get about half of the revenue they make. All why the content that is delivered is decided by giant companies and their algorithms. And while I could definitely see a decentralized social media experience being a toxic cesspool, I think there is some merit that could actually safeguard it against it. Imagine if you had to put up 1/10 of an Ethereum token in exchange for using a social media. It's a single upfront cost. But if you do something that violates the blockchain protocol, you will not only get your account banned, but you will lose the money of that ETH token. This could keep bots and other things from spamming content, as you would basically need an endless amount of money to keep funding new accounts. And while Fortune 500 companies do not like a single upfront charge, because it limits their future monetization, as you could tell by Adobe's switch to subscriptions, a blockchain protocol on the other hand would have no need to please shareholders indefinitely. Instead, using cryptocurrency not as a form of profit to return to shareholders, but to safeguard it from people with bad intent. However, an open web is something that definitely needs more development than it has right now. The technology is still young, and the protocols and safeguards are still being worked out. And that takes us into the final and easiest of them all, that being currency exchange. This one is pretty straightforward, as blockchain already solves a lot of these problems. Because more often than not, exchanging currencies can often get you ripped off depending on where you are. Tourist destinations are known for having ATMs that take a large percentage of your money, just because you don't know better nor do you have the time nor patience to find a better deal. Stable coins that are linked to multiple different currencies would allow a smooth and easy transfer of these, with the ability to even do this in a decentralized manner as long as you have two phones with enough electricity to do it. But people who live in countries that have a very unstable currency could also use normal cryptocurrencies to make these transactions. Although as of right now, it's not advised for developed countries as we have a more stable currency. And no, I'm not saying cryptocurrency is replacing fiat currency. That is unlikely for a lot of reasons right now, beyond just volatility. As smartphones have spread throughout the world, it is often that it is the only device that connects people to the wider world. And in countries with very unstable governments or very unstable currencies, citizens could use this to trade with their neighboring countries, and if they had to flee the country quickly, carrying cryptocurrency on your phone is a lot easier than taking a bunch of gold. I don't think this would ever be used in large scale by businesses anytime soon, but when it comes to traveling to remote destinations, I think this could actually be a very plausible alternative. That being said, it would primarily be the stable coins that would be used for this, mainly because the major cryptocurrencies have either too high of burn fees, too slow of transaction speeds, or the price is too volatile to use as a means of exchange. Stablecoins' one weakness is that they often have a centralized trust, company, or some kind of entity that holds the actual currency that's being traded. So while the stablecoins can be traded for each other and exchanged basically instantaneously, there's usually a company in the background managing the exchange of the money. And unless governments actually started backing these or guaranteeing these transactions, it would make it difficult for them to scale, and it would make it difficult to compete with the normal foreign exchange. The biggest convenience is that you can swap stablecoins at any time of day. So imagine you're on vacation at a bar and you gotta swap some currencies real quick, but all the banks are closed. Even if the country you're in has a relatively poor financial structure. While this isn't all that useful for countries like America or the European Union, this could definitely benefit a lot of smaller local economies that still are cash-based. Let me know what you think of the ideas that could actually take crypto mainstream. This video will be followed up by another one on why crypto could fail. And while I do believe in blockchain technology as a whole, it is highly unlikely cryptocurrency could replace the traditional financial system, for reasons I'll get into on the next video. So stay tuned to the channel for that one. Let me know why all of you think cryptocurrency will prevail. Do you think I was downplaying cryptocurrency? Or was I overhyping its potential? Either way, let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like our content, be sure to like, subscribe, and keep watching The Daily Dollar.